Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, your guide through this 9-class journey of returning to Source. The topic in this, the second of our series, is mother wounding and unconditional love. In today's class, we will look at the second level of existence in the spiral dynamics model, tribal existence, and find some of the classically conditioned responses to mother and all our relationships, which may no longer be serving us, as well as we'll learn what to do about them. Answers from evolving human consciousness. Level 2, tribalistic existence. A human at the second subsistence level is striving to achieve basic safety in a world seems full of spirits. In this world, there is no separation between subject and object. Phenomena possess no clear contours, and things have no particular identity. One form of being can be transmuted into another. There's a correspondence between all things. The concept of linear causality is not fully used. The individual perceives forces at work in life to be inherent in all things. Human consciousness is linked at the deepest level. Time is seasonally based, and space is perceived in atomistic fashion. Society based on this form of existence is steeped in myth and tradition. Being is a mystical phenomenon full of spirits, magic, and superstition. The individual has no existence apart from the tribe. Here, the task of existence is simply to continue what it seems has enabled my tribe to be. The tribe becomes synonymous with Source. The area of the human nervous system that functions most prominently at this level of existence is the brainstem, including the reticular activation system. This area takes a primary role in amplifying, regulating, and integrating all impulses passing between the higher brain centers and the body. And it regulates the autonomic reactions, including all the vital functions of breathing, heartbeat, circulation, digestion, and so on. This neurological system is activated by changes, particularly sudden changes, in the mode or intensity of stimuli associated with one of the individual's innate reflexive networks, like a dog reacting to the smell of food or the odor of an aggressor. When this system dominates, learning occurs through the classical conditioning method. That is, when there is a very short time between an arousal state and something to satisfy that arousal, like when an infant is hungry and presented with the breast. The Russian physiologist Pavlov popularized the use of classical conditioning in the late 1800s by harnessing dogs and presenting them with food. The dog's unconditional response to food was to salivate. However, at the same time the food was presented, a bell would ring. Because the food came at the same time as the bell, the dog soon became conditioned to salivate just hearing the bell, even when the food was not presented. So the dog exhibited a conditioned response to the stimulus of the ringing bell. In humans, this system dominates during the first month of life. Subsequently, it becomes subordinated to progressively higher and more complex nerve networks. When moderately stimulated, this system produces a transient orienting reaction, leading to exploratory responses and ending by familiarity with the stimulus object. More intense activation produces an initial defensive reaction, followed by innate or acquired fear reactions, and terminated either by escaping from the arousing stimulus or by habituation to a level inducing exploration. Experiments with dogs were later conducted by pairing a bell with an electric shock. Soon the animal would respond in an aversive way, again, just by hearing the bell. The feeling of a threat to basic safety can arise by any stimulus linked with a continued arousal of this system. In situations where the environment fails to provide inadequate support for the subsequent focusing of the defensive reaction, continued intense reticular activation could lead to the generalized irritability or diffuse anxiety that characterizes many later neurotic syndromes. Now, dogs who were allowed to escape to a part of their cage when shock was administered to the floor of their cages remained healthy and alert. Dogs that were not allowed to escape became listless and depressed, like people do when they feel trapped in a painful situation from which they see no escape. Therapeutic breathwork can facilitate change in classically conditioned fear or anxiety responses that were pre-verbal by pairing the arousal state, activated by faster breathing, to a safe and supportive environment that gradually desensitizes high arousal through conscious connected breathing. The individual is literally reconditioned with coaching when anxiety sets in to breathe in a self-regulated way. Now, talking about these states in therapy may give temporary reduction of arousal, but pairs this satisfaction with the need to continually tell one's story. This creates a classically conditioned dependency on the therapist that may take years to generalize outside of verbal downloading. Therapeutic breathwork pairs the learned satisfaction with the quality of breathing itself, which is more easily translated to self-regulating habits than codependency. We will be using breathwork with some of our classically conditioned responses formed in our early tribal existence, our family. As a child, I remember how different and seemingly strange other families' way of living were from mine. Much learning at our very early stages came from just the way we do things here in our family. Rituals around eating, sleeping, elimination, touch, dress, communicating, work, and play can be deeply rooted and beyond awareness of their origins in our psyche. We often say, "That's just the way I am," when someone points out a peculiarity in our behavior or attitude. When two people decide to live together, no matter how seemingly similar their backgrounds, they carry with them a whole host of programmed responses that are different, which provides us the wonderful opportunity to free ourselves from conditioned responses or draw the proverbial line in the sand about who's right and who's wrong. The stronger our connection to Source, the place of loving unity, the less the drama of force, the place of tribal warfare. Now take handout 1, and in section 1A, write 3 conditioned responses to your mother or mother substitute if you had no contact beyond birth with your birth mother that you consider positive. In section B, 3 conditioned responses that you consider negative. Now, whether you were conscious of them as positive or negative at the time or not. A conditioned response is one that may seem instinctual to you. There's not a lot of choice about it. That's just the way it is. Of course, later on, we make up all sorts of reasons for, quotes, choosing this or that attitude. But when it comes right down to it, it seems very difficult to unchoose. Understanding that this is not about blaming your mother for anything. It's just about positions you took in relation to her. Classical conditioning is moving towards something our nervous system took as positive and away from things to which it responded as negative. You might have been a colicky baby and your mother tried to soothe you with a bottle. You associated pain with her feeding, but are totally unaware of why you have a distaste for her cooking or her ability to nurture you. So don't try to analyze at this point your responses to your mother. Just note them. Complete the 2 sections now and come back to the video. Each month, we will do an experiential exercise that highlights the level of conscious evolution we are examining within us. This month, it is the tribal level of existence. It's important that we use these exercises to bring to consciousness what may be impeding our full potential for the purpose of recovering the frozen energies from past experiences that may have been overwhelming or traumatic to our nervous system, and therefore stored in what's called the implicit-only memory. Exercise 1. We will work now with the example of your conditioned responses to your mother, or mother substitute if you had no contact beyond birth with your birth mother, that you described in Handout 1, Sections 1A and 1B. We're going to take you through a self-guided breathwork visualization from these 6 early life experiences you noted with your mother. However, be open to whatever surfaces as you breathe. It could be just sensations, emotions, thoughts, or other memories than the ones you wrote down. Suggest that whatever comes up is there for the benefit of your intended release or reinforcement. This includes having nothing seemingly happen, which is also a clue that part of you is not ready to go there. It's only by accepting that part that it may eventually relax because it knows that it's not being forced into what it doesn't want to experience. Building self-acceptance and inner trust is more to the point here than trying to make something happen. You're going to get yourself in a relaxed sitting or lying position in which you are warm and comfortably supported and are close enough to turn off the video once you hear all the instructions I give, and allow yourself to continue the breath exercise till you are complete. Now, stop the video if you need to get situated, and then come back. First, have the loving intention to go back to those experiences you wrote about on Handout 1, Sections A and B, for the purpose of recovering whatever energy may still be awaiting your reintegration. Our purpose is restoring full aliveness and health to your body, mind, and spirit. We'll use the circular breath with somewhat faster than normal breathing through the mouth and releasing on the exhale. You'll put your attention on the base of your spine, and breathing through your mouth, you'll take an active inhale up your back to the top of your head, then without pause, exhale down the front of your body by letting the breath go, not pushing or forcing it. Keep the inhale and the exhale connected without pause, but adjust your pace and volume to what allows you to energize without overwhelming your system. Superventilated, not hyperventilated. It will look something like this. Okay, so let's begin. Take a moment to get adjusted to a faster than normal breathing that you can easily sustain. If you need to switch to breathing through your nose, do this. Then experiment with that. Let's begin. Continue to listen to me as I give instructions now while you continue your breath. Just take a moment to get adjusted to a faster than normal rhythm that you can easily sustain. Now continue your circle of faster than normal breathing and bring your attention again to your heart area and invite the spirit of your birth mother into your heart, whether she's alive or dead, to be with you in clearing any energies between you that may be impeding your soul contract on the highest level to foster one another's evolution. See if you can make this invitation to her spirit, even if part of you is wary or skeptical. Know that you have the protection of all your guides, all your spirits throughout this work. Let the memories of connection to your mother come to you in whatever order they choose, and keep your breath moving regardless if you regard these memories as positive or negative. As much as you can, put all judgments at bay and let the spirit of breath do the healing work you intended. Keep this going now for several minutes until you feel complete for now. Then bring yourself back to a relaxed, normal rhythm. You can turn off the video here and come back when you're ready. Now suggest to yourself that whatever happened in this exercise is what you were ready for at this time, and that more realizations about your conditioned responses to your mother and your life will come as you are ready for them in the time between now and next class. As we become aware of our conditioned responses, we can get closer to having more choice, or at least more compassion around them until we have more choice. Sharing with a supportive partner can be very helpful, and the homework breathing we will do till next class will also be useful in this regard. For now, take handout 1, and in section 2, write what you discovered that was useful for you about your relationship to your mother in this circular, faster than normal breathing exercise. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings till next class. Blessings in light and love.